Welcome to the Growtality podcast. I am so excited to share today about achievement shift. And what we're going to talk about is how you can balance your life with achievement along with shifting into balance and fulfillment and growth and vitality. So I was looking on the Pottery Barn website, and somehow I ended up coming across a picture that was a framed piece of art. And it said, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Look what happens with a love like that. It lights up the whole sky. And it made me think just a little bit about dichotomies, about generosity versus selfishness, and conversations that I've been having recently in the work world around achievement and trying to shift the focus from that do, go, into more of the balance between the two. And so, when you think about what is achievement for you, what does it really mean? A lot of times when I think of achievement, I think about getting from point A to point B. If point B is my goal and I get there, I've achieved what matters to me. So that's one way of looking at it. For others, it's checking a box, crossing something off your list. It's that yes feeling, I got it, I did it, it happened. Whatever achievement is to you, it's important to understand, one, what you really want, and then two, why you want it, which you've heard me talk about quite a bit. But how it plays out is really important, because achievement can be a blessing and it can be a delight and it can be sheer joy and it can be thrilling. When I think about my own personal experience in 2021, the year of the Ironman, where I achieved 2 quarters, 2 halves, and 1 full, because I really wanted to prove that I could learn and grow and try things that scare me and get out of my comfort zone and even fail a little, because swimming wasn't my specialty. Biking wasn't my specialty. Quite frankly, running is not my specialty either, but I love it. And so I really thought that was a goal and that was something I wanted to achieve in my lifetime. And so I did. But the other part of achievement is when it becomes a saboteur, when it becomes overused and it causes you fatigue or burnout or the ability to lack judgment in your priorities. So you're sitting at dinner, and I had this conversation with some coaching clients, and you're really there physically, but mentally you're like, who else do I owe something to? What else has to get done? And so you're not fully present. And so today we're going to talk about achieving shift or achievement shift so that it serves and honors the reality of your whole life. And so that you can find a place of connecting your head and your heart and really finding that flow and that balance and that fulfillment. So the first thing that I always like to do is think through some of your greatest achievements. And some of those may be work related, some of those may be goal related, family related, love related, growth related. The list goes on. But in order to really think about your personal connection and relationship with achievement, many of us, it's our formative years. I can remember my first paper route. My brother Tommy and I would go to the hospital and on Saturday mornings and walk up and down the hallways selling the Courier News for 25 cents. And it was so thrilling to go in with a bag full and leave with a bag empty with a few tips. And we could go to the candy store and get a milkshake. But that was achievement, and that was fun and thrilling and probably part of my formative years. So think about some of your greatest achievements, some of your memories or moments of achievement, so you can get connected to what it really means to you. I mean, we all have values. And so part of what we're doing with Achievement Shift is thinking through, if this is one of your values, learning, growing, achieving, if overused and becomes one of your weaknesses or thorns, then it's important to know what it looks like, what it means to you, so you can uncover what you really want to find when it comes to the balance and the flow. So the next part is really about self-expression and the vision for what you have. I've always said this, I don't know who to give this credit to, but I think it's phenomenal. And it says, today is the day to make tomorrow happen. And so if you really imagine 1 year from today, what your vision is, what you really want to find, often what people look at is not only what they accomplished and achieved, but who they became and what mattered most, and the moments and the memories and the experiences throughout the year. So I encourage you to have a conversation with yourself on what this future 1 year holds for you. And it really should be a balance of all the different facets of your life. And not every facet's always going to be a 10 out of 10. But ultimately, if there's areas that are really low or closer to the 0 or closer to the 2 or the 4, what would it take in that one area to find a little more satisfaction? So for example, people will say, I'm not really paying attention to my health, or I'm too busy, or I don't have time, or I'm not drinking water, I'm not walking. So an achievement shift would be, how can I carve out 15 minutes a day to walk a mile so that I achieve a little bit of a shift, and rather just achieving all my emails and all my meetings and all my strategic plans, I've made the time that really matters. And so that's where we're headed. That's just one example. So you have to have the vision. The second part is you have to get clear on what really stops you and what gets in your way. And so if you think about what are the areas that hold you back, for some it's discipline, for others it's overthinking, some people it's perfectionism, it's always A plus, never B. For others, when we think about what is some of the things that could hold us back, it's spreading ourselves too thin. It's not saying no. It's lacking clarity, lacking focus, not asking for help. Delegation comes up quite a bit. So identification, once you know what you're looking for in the year, identification around what are the risks, what could get in your way, what could really prevent you from achieving that balance shift that you're seeking. And, one area that I hear a lot in coaching is we have a wish and we have a dream and we have needs and we have wants. And so the ultimate piece of success would be not trying to take on too much, thinking about your inner voice, like what really matters? What is one area? I had this conversation with a coaching client last week about the phone and how when it pops up, the average amount of time you spend each day on your phone. And they were disgusted. They were not satisfied. And so one small element of an achievement shift would be to go to dinner with their family, or go, on a Saturday for a block of time without their phone. And so I encourage you, I invite you to think through what would be those little teeny shifts that actually you have kind of been thinking about or feeling and you'd like to make, small, medium, or large. And then the last part is the action, which is kind of that example I just shared on putting your phone away. But ultimately, if you are looking for a shift in one facet of your life, in multiple facets of your life, you have to recognize what are the habits, what are the actions that are going to help you apply this shift. And so again, sometimes it's progress, just small steps. Other times it's really committing to a new habit and asking for help, finding someone that you could be accountable to that would support you in the application of this achievement shift. Sometimes we get in our heads, we overthink, we make things more than they are. So try to see them for what they really are. Try to be really specific. Write down what your vision really is with something that you're looking to just make a slight shift in, and that you would feel satisfied by achieving. And then really figure out what could get in the way so you mitigate any risks before you can ultimately apply the plan and move on in a very balanced and delightful way. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks so much.